Yo guys, Akari here, big Succ Maehwa player. Hope all of you been doing well. I've been having people come and ask me when I'm going to do a guide for Succ Maehwa. And since all of you been asking and wanting one for so long, I decided to actually go through it and do a full-on guide for my favorite class. But first, let's start with a little intro. So my name is Akari Sayo. I am a content creator for BDO. I stream 2 to 3 times a week. And I am one of the biggest known Succ Maehwa players in North America. I've been playing BDO since it came out in NA, and I've been playing Succ Maehwa since Succession Maehwa came out. In this video, we're going to be talking about Maehwa as a class, what she can do, what she is. We're going to be talking afterwards about her skills, the movement that she has, her catches that she can do, the combos that I use, some of them that will be easy and some of them that are a little bit harder. We're going to be talking about the animation cancels that she has and the add-ons that I use. And we're going to be finishing it with some tips on how to play her and a little montage I prepared for y'all guys. So, Maehwa is a class. Maehwa is a pretty versatile class with high movement and high burst. She's extremely good on engaging in with high damage and then kite out of the battle with some decent remaining damage. Succ Maehwa is a class that can be really fun to play since it's not a class where you just rely on doing the same combo or go for the same skills over and over again. You'll be able to do multiple things while playing her. The only unlucky part about Succ Maehwa is that it doesn't have a grab. That's the only thing. Let's start off with her skills. So since we're playing a succession class, every time you're playing one, you're going to be looking in the main version of your skills and all the time the prime skills. So we're going to start from the top. The first skill is a prime divider. It's a super armor class that will make you stay stationary, but it does a really good amount of damage. The second one, prime blind thrust, is a skill that is unprotected, but when you go in with this skill, which is a movement skill as well, you're gonna be able to do a stiffen on your enemy. Prime blind slash, which is also a unprotected skill, but is a floating. Whirlwind cut is a really good super armor skill that will be able to do a debuff of 20 and also do a decent amount of damage. Prime Carver. Prime Carver is a skill that you're always going to use to re-CC people and be able to also debuff them with another 20 DP. Prime Decap. Prime Decap is one of our main skills that we're going to be using a lot, which is also a damage skill. Sometimes it's super armor when it's not on cooldown, and also is one of our main skills that will make us go back in red blade mode. Prime Dragon Bite. Prime Dragon Bite is a forward guard skill that does a stiffness when it's out of cooldown, and it's also another skill that we're using to go in red blade mode. Red Moon. Prime Red Moon is a skill that you're going to be having it in red blade mode that will do a super armor damage with long range damage and is one of also of our main skills that does a lot of damage. When you're not in red blade mode is a skill that will be doing forward guard and doesn't do long range CCs. Prime Charge Stub Arrow. Charge Stub Arrow is basically your long range damage and your long range CCs. You can do stiffness with it, and you're going to be able to do it 3 to 4 times. And then afterwards it goes on cooldown. Prime Blooming. Another main damage skill where you're going to be stationary with a super armor in red blade mode and unprotected in normally without the red blade mode. When it's unprotected, it will do a stun, but when it's in red blade mode, it does not do the stun, but it will be in super armor. Prime Frost Feint. Prime Frost Feint is a super armor into unprotected CC. The movement of Frost Feint is protected, but the CC is unprotected. Prime Pedestal. Prime Pedestal is one of our damage skills where you can use to debuff the enemies with movement speed and attack speed slows. And it's also a super armor when it's not on cooldown. And for our passives, the Prime Sharp Blade will give us accuracy rate, and for Prime Blooming Stride is going to be ignore all resistance. Now, of course, even if we're looking at the main skills, which will be Prime, as a Succ Maehwa, you're also going to be using your absolute skills. And the skills that mostly you're going to be using as absolute will be Absolute Backstep Slash, which is a foreguard with 50% movement speed slow. The second one that you're going to be using a lot, it's going to be Cyclone Slash that you put on your quick slot. Cyclone Slash is basically a tornado that you launch towards people. It goes a little bit slow, but sometimes people will not be able to see it, and you can do a long range floating with it. The other skill, it's Razor Blade Corolla. It's our Magnus skill. Usually the Razor Blade Corolla is used for finishing a combo or staying in foreguard while doing damage. Now for the other skills, we have the normal kicks. I do not use some of them, but the kicks I always use is the normal F, which is a floating when it's not on cooldown, and WF, which is roundhouse kick, which is a KD. For the last skill, which is something that all Maehwa or Musa players use, is Tiger Blade. When you activate Tiger Blade for the next 30 seconds, you're going to be able to do unlimited dashes, but you are very limited on the skill that you can use. Because when you're in Tiger Blade, the moment you activate it, the only skills you're going to be able to do damage with will be Decapitation. You're going to be able to throw in some carvers, and you can get out of Tiger Blade by doing Red Moon. Now, you also have your skill enhancement skills. For skill enhancements, most of the Maehwas will be using for PvP those three skills. So for the first one, you have Ultimate Maehwa Will that will give you 450 HP, critical hit rate 30% for 10 seconds, and magic DP plus 15 for 10 seconds. The second one is Blooming Stride. Blooming Stride is a foreguard skill that you're going to be able to use to do a movement speed slow of 50% for 10 seconds on your enemies. Some people also use Blooming Step, which is a skill that will be able to launch you a little bit forward more than Blooming Stride, but it doesn't have the movement speed slow. All it has is all DP plus 10 for 10 seconds and all DP minus 20 for 10 seconds. And lastly, for the last skill enhancement skill, we have Decapitating Cyclone. Decapitating Cyclone is a foreguard skill that is basically the same as our Cyclone Slash, but when you use it, it's going to be foreguard at the beginning, and the tornado goes faster and further. For Maehwa though, there's some skills that I wish you all guys would lock, because you're not going to be using it, and even if you would be using it, it will just hinder you. For the skills that you want to lock, the first ones we're going to start with is Ultimate Dragon Claw, Lunar Slash, which comes just from Dragon Claw itself. The second skill you're gonna lock or you're just not gonna take will be Maehwa Ascension to Heaven. And for the other skills that I lock, it would be Absolute Blunt Kick or Sweep Kick. And of course, the skill that everyone locks is Forward Roll. Now for Succession Maehwa movement. Her main movement will be her chase. You can use chase as long as you want until your stamina runs out. For chase, every 4 seconds you're gonna be in an iframe, and then afterwards when it's on cooldown you're gonna be in a non-stop super armor. Now for her second movement skill is forward blind thrust. Forward blind thrust will be a skill that you can use to stiffen your enemies, but the only unfortunate part about it is that it is unprotected. Our third skill that we use a lot for movement is grapple arrow. Grapple arrow is a super armor skill that when you're gonna hit your enemies is gonna do a knockback. And lastly, for the main movement skills, we have also Dragon Bite. Dragon Bite will also be a skill that is used for stiffens, and it also has a forward guard. The only thing with Dragon Bite is it doesn't go as far as forward blind thrust. For lastly, another skill that we have is Blooming Strike, which will be our forward guard and movement speed slow. It launches a little bit forward and it does a decent amount of slows. But also a lot of people use Blooming Step, which will not do the slow part, but it goes 2 times the distance. Now for our catches. Our main catches that we're going to be using all the time will be Blind Thrust, Carver, Dragon Bite, Red Moon, Grapple Arrow, Charged Stub Arrow, and Frostbite. You're not going to be using your kicks to CC someone. You're only going to be doing them for re-CCs if there's no one on you. So a lot of you guys have been hearing me talk about Red Blade. Basically, for Succ Maehwa, Red Blade mode is something that you always gotta be using. Because what does it do? Red Blade mode makes you get 5% accuracy rate for 30 seconds. It also makes you get 10 AP for 30 seconds. And the main reason why we are using it is because it's gonna change the animation of multiple of our skills and also make them do more damage and make them be NSA. Now, how do you go in Red Blade mode? It's quite easy. You're gonna have an icon all the time on your screen with 3 petals and a sword. So basically, to be able to go in the Red Blade mode, you need to make your petals basically shine, all 3. And how you do that is quite easy as well. To turn one petal to shine, you just need to do a dash. And then to turn another one, you do another dash. And then afterwards, if you want to go in the Red Blade mode, you have 2 skills that makes you turn in Red Blade mode. The first skill is Dragon Bite, which is our forward guard skill. And the second skill that will make us go in Red Blade mode is Decapitation. When you're in Red Blade mode, is when it's already activated, you don't need to redo 2 dashes and then do Dragon Bite or Decap to go back in Red Blade mode or to reactivate it. You can just stay in the Red Blade mode, do a random Dragon Bite or do a random Decap, and it will turn back on a 30 seconds time. Now for our animation cancels. So our first skill as an animation cancel will be our Blooming. If you just normally do Blooming, it's going to be doing a iframe into super armor. But this skill takes quite a bit to do the damage. If you want to be doing it instantly, the way that you're going to do it is by dashing or doing your Frost Feint or any other skill, mostly into Blooming. And by doing that, you're just going to be doing your Shift LMB RMB afterwards. So for example, dash, Blooming. For our second skill as an animation cancel, it will be Decapitation. If you just normally want to use Decapitation, it will take a little bit until the skill goes through. But you can use 3 skills to make it go faster. The first skill is blind thrust into decapitation. The second skill is blind slash into decapitation. And for the third skill, we have blooming into decapitation. For our combos, I'm gonna start by showing you guys a really easy combo that I always use in PvP. So of course, every time that you do PvP, you're gonna be able, as a Maehwa, to just do a random CC. And when you see the stiffness go through, you follow it up with Carver into blooming, red moon, then whirlwind slash, and corolla. This will be a fast way of doing it. Bowshot, Carver, blooming, red moon, whirlwind slash, corolla. Add-ons wise, these are the add-ons that I'm going to be using all the time for PvP and also for PvE. I'm never going to be changing it even if I'm doing 1v1s, 3v3s, or large scale. I'm always going to be doing the same PvP add-ons for everything. Of course, if you guys play style a little bit different, you can use different add-ons. But this is the ones that I'm always going to be using myself. Now lastly, for tips on how to play Succ Maehwa. As a Succ Maehwa, your positioning is key. You always need to position yourself in a scenario where you can get a good CC or good damage on who you're targeting. In large scale, you should never go and attack a full main ball. Your goal is always to focus the people on the sidelines, because you will always shine when you're gonna try to kill someone that is isolated. While if you're trying to go in a full main ball, you're gonna be able to get some CCs, but unfortunately, your damage will not be big enough where you're gonna be able to kill people before dying. So I wouldn't recommend you guys to just go into a full main ball. Thank you guys for watching my guide. If you have any more concerns or questions, if you want to ask me, come and see me on my Twitch, link on the bottom right of the screen. If not, enjoy my little montage I prepared for you guys. Peace!
Yeah. 일어날 유자 구랑 어차피 유지분 나를 혹한 우수 전부 대수 북한 접해 권이나 ball let's go 이 과당 오면 이런 이 컵들 오디오 스윗 손도 more quick 들어있지 LV 베라미노 스윗 내 배우줄 페이지를 phân 줄 late see me like 나 미신이 지배 we SOP we feel so free baby no money we on TOP 민호 세션 지수한지 cause bullshit magic cause 공 알리 I'm mad at D 그린 CDG R&B all night all day all week 가월 춤 옴자를 고수 비지니 옴도 티관지 왜 SOS IBM should go to the dance 오늘 다시 put you go to bed I'm not rap star I'm your dad 왜 SOS IBM should go to the dance 오늘 다시 put you go to bed I'm not rap star I'm your dad
Runway fashion, I don't need stylists. First name baby, my last name Highness. No brakes, gas, and a plug like sinus. Phones up crazy, I'ma buy a little island. PMS, SMD, LFG, STFU, SMD. I dress the best, kiss your ex, she wants sex. I'm like next, SOS. I crumble, big bag on the line. I the fumble, she tryna wind it down. I'm in trouble, check my hairline. Create a couple, blow like dynamite. The only cheese ain't mine is queso. Foreign girls translated peso. Hey chief, I'm it like Halo. Baby, no camera on TV, cable. Pay my bill like I'm Christian. Yes, this man, he's up to bad. Pitching part, let's go relax. Touching butts and draining sad. Say my name, I'm so frisky. Throw some dice, you know I'm risky. Blow a bag, I get it back. SOL, now you mad.
SOS IBM should go to the dance 오늘 다시 put you go to bed I'm not rap star I'm your dad SOS IBM should go to the dance 오늘 다시 put you go to bed I'm not rap star I'm your dad